Carbello. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will be reading my story that I did on Sam Wicker's character Randomizer. It took me longer than I wanted it to, but the last month and a half has not been the best for me writing wise. Physically and mentally I am doing well, but I've lost, I guess, motivation or whatever that word is that you want to use for writing. I have written, but it's not as much, to the level that I'm used to. But either way, I think I have a picture, or I will get a picture of what I think my character looks like. The only problem is I couldn't find a green skinned character, but besides that, I will show you the picture that I kind of made up on World of Warcraft that kind of, resembles what I'm trying to portray anyway. But yeah, I will be reading the story in a few minutes. So if you're ready for that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you can get all my other videos and get notified when I do my live streams, which is currently going on, as you can probably see. So yeah, I will be right back with the story. Quasar Minx, the grieving husband. Quasar Minx woke up in the middle of the day with a splitting headache and a stomach that felt like it ran a marathon. He was hungover from another night of drinking, and drinking a lot. After going to the bathroom and getting rid of whatever he had in his stomach and brushing his teeth, he sat on the cot that was near a corner in a small room upstairs from Singing Jack's alehouse. In a small city named Resnick, today was his day off from working as a dancing server/bartender, a job he hated more than any job he had had in his 100 years of life. The creatures that came in were rude and careless. The problem was that Minx was stuck in this shit town without no real way of getting out. He took the alehouse owner's offer to work for him, since Minx was once one of his best and longest customers. Over the last 30 years, Minx came in to eat and to drink every time he was in town. Minx and Slinging Jack became friends. He usually sat with Minx to talk about his travels and whatever he was developing. Minx looked back at the times that he used to have traveling the world as a proficient architect. He was well renowned for his blueprints and how he took over a job site. Minx would have clientele backed for over a year. But the most memorable thing that he looked back on, though, was the love of his life, Vixen Bixley. They were married when they were young. They were about 25 years old, which is young for hobbits. From the moment Minx met her, he knew he would marry her. What he didn't know was that Vixen would be the best thing that ever happened in his life. He looked back on her life. Vixen Bixley was the chief of trauma surgeon in the city where they met and lived for most of their adult life. The city is named Tipvinka, one of the largest cities in the world. Vixen worked at one of the two largest hospitals. The chief of surgery hired her because of her experience in wartime trauma. Vixen knew what she wanted to be from an early age, when her father served in the First Interstellar World War. While Vixen was saving people, Minx was rebuilding the world. He grew to be known as one of the best architects in the world. Vixen and Minx decided that they both had a job to do, and they were the only ones to do it. Vixen retired from trauma surgery at 75. She dedicated over 40 years to healing and repairing. not only to heroes that came back injured after the war. She after the war, she stayed on as chief of surgery to help normal creatures get back to life. Mink started Mink started his architect career, but Minx never retired. His business grew and grew. Vixen knew that even though she could retire and be comfortable, Minx's true passion was to rebuild this world better than he left it. Tears fell from his eyes as the next image in his mind was the day she passed away. She looked so fragile. She had contracted a virus from one of the many patients she helped. It was a mystery as to why the patient had or how to cure it. The day Vixen passed, Minx fed her breakfast. She asked him to take her out for a walk in the fields of Inca. She loved the smell in the air that summer morning. It wasn't the Vincas, but something about that morning air made Vixen smile. After spending more than an hour outside, they went back inside. Minx asked if she wanted some lunch and she said, "Yes, sweetheart." He made her lunch. As he started cooking, though, he could hear moans and groans from the bedroom. He rushed in and asked her, "Sweetheart, are you okay?" Her voice was so weak, and all she made out was, "I can't breathe." He called the ambulance, and when they came, she was already gone. The paramedics told him, "She stopped breathing. She is gone. I am so sorry. The morgue will make the final determination." He got into the ambulance and took a ride to the hospital after turning off the stove, of course. The morgue made the final determination that she had passed and arrived at the hospital dead. Minx now had to come to the reality that the love of his life was gone and how he would carry on without her. After the ceremonial burial in the hills of Teprinka, Minx tried to continue his life without her. Unfortunately, after a year, he decided that Teprinka could not be where he lived anymore. He just couldn't handle it. Minx decided he would not move but live wherever he was hired as an architect. He left his home behind. He only took his clothes, his maps, his tools to do his job, his wallet, and a single picture of his beloved Vixen. He continued to work, but his passion was drawing maps. He remembered that he always liked to draw. It wasn't until he went to school and learned about their history and the interstellar world wars that he became fascinated with maps. After his beloved Vixen died, he got commissioned to draw maps. As the years passed, he was more known for his maps than his blueprints and agricultural skills. Shortly after turning 100 years old, the economy took a turn for the worse. Even though he had customers booked up for a year, customers started reaching out and telling him that they could no longer afford to pay him, and some construction owners, had gone bankrupt. The last thing Minx was good at was saving enough money to live. The problem, of course, was that as the years passed, after his beloved Vixen died, he drank, and he drank a lot. The money was no longer lasting as long as he needed it. He tried to stop drinking, but the thought of living without Vixen killed him inside, so he drank to hide the pain. The last thing Minx was good at, his last job was in the town of Resnick. He worked every morning and drank every night. When the job was over, Minx found he was out of money and no real way of leaving the town. He went to the house and spoke to the owner, telling him about his financial problems. The owner said, "Minx, you're always here. Why don't you work here at night? You can be a server / bartender. The customers here usually all they want is the same thing, a cold beer. I also have a small room upstairs that you can use. That way you can watch over the place when it's closed." Minx knew he didn't want to be in this town, but with his financial problems he was stranded, so he took him up on his offer. Little did Minx know he would spend the next 20 years working for Singing Jack's ale house. He appreciated Singing Jack for being his friend when he needed one the most. Minx knew that his job as an architect was non-existent anymore. He thought that his map drawing could get him some extra cash if he commissioned his map making. The only thing he liked about his job is that he started working at 5 p.m. local time, and he usually woke up at noon. He had 4 hours to walk around the town and get ideas for his maps. The town had no new buildings, but there was many changes that he could draw. He wanted to go to the mountains to talk to, he wanted to go up to the mountains. So he talked to Singing Jack to let him know of his plans and if there was an easy way to get up that mountain. Singing Jack told him, "You need to be careful going up there without a good reason. The dragon's lair is in those mountains, but that's not the problem. They have a caretaker. He's no regular caretaker. He's a fire golem named Ginny. That fire golem is bad for my business, Minx. If he knew what I have in the basement, that could spell the end of not only my business, but for me in particular." Minx says, "Singing Jack, all I want is to visit the mountains and enjoy a map or two. Right now, that is the only thing I can do to make more money than what you give me. I want to go exploring and get a higher view of the town." He sat on the bed and popped open his beers. Before he knew it, it was 3 p.m. and he had not eaten yet. He left his room and went to a local restaurant because he would not eat the food at Singing Jack's. After what Jax told him, besides the fact that he liked meat, not dragon eggs. On his next day off, he decided he would hike up the mountain to see what he would find. He knew about the dragon's lair from Singing Jack. The hike was long, but Minx loved the view. He finally reached the top and he saw the dragon's lair. He set his eyes on the lava-breathing golem. He had seen nothing like that before. He was huge. His first thought was that the mountain was approaching him. He blinked his eyes and saw this rock formation of a thing, blood orange. He looked so evil and deadly. Minx knew he could be in trouble if the golem did not want him there. All Minx could say was, "Hello, Mr. Golem. My name is Minx." When Minx first heard his voice, he was taken aback. The words felt comforting, but Minx could tell that he didn't like unannounced visitors. But he tried to be nice. Jeannie said, "Well, hello. I was not expecting visitors today." Minx said, I was exploring in my time off. I like to draw maps. I've seen the mountain from the city. I thought that the view from up here will give me the inspiration to draw an aerial map of the city. Okay. Well, since you are here, let me show you around. By the way, my name is Jeannie, and I take care of the dragons. Thank you so much for allowing me to look around. Minx was so appreciative. Minx knew that if he was going to draw anything, he had to draw the dragon's lair. Excuse me. They reached the overlook where you can see the whole city underneath. It amazed Minx at how beautiful the city looked from this view, this area view. Genie said, so you are a map maker. There is no other place like the Overwatch. The sunrise and the sunset here are so beautiful. If I had your skill set, this is where I would draw my map of. I was thinking the same thing actually. Genie said, let me show you the rest of the dragons there and then you can be on your way back down. I can tell it's going to take an hour or more and the sun will set soon. I appreciate that so much. Genie took Minx through the dragon's lair. The young dragons were flapping all around. Genie said, well Minx, that concludes our tour. Please come back and visit us soon. You are always welcome. Thank you so much, Jen. I will be back soon. An hour and a half later, as the sun was setting, Minx reached Slinging Jack's alehouse. He went upstairs to his room and sketched out his new map idea. He got some food from his normal eatery and picked up a couple of steins of beer. The circus is in town. The next morning he woke up earlier than normal. There was this noise of people, creatures, and animals. He heard hammering. When he looked out the window, he saw that all that noise was the circus setting up their tents. He knew that he would be busy tonight with all the visitors coming into town to see the circus. That night he went to work and he always made sure to get a few steins of beer before his shift started. He knew that he would be in a better mood and the patrons loved how he danced when he waited on them. If he didn't have a few drinks in him, he would not be so cheerful and bubbly. As the night passed, he saw this unicorn thing. As the night passed, he saw this unicorn thing coming. She must have been cursed because she was a tiny unicorn, almost like a pixie or a fairy. When Minx went over to her, dancing about as he usually did, she grabbed one of his legs and told him she wasn't in the mood for his dancing. All she wanted was some wine. Then she asked him, are you cursed too? Because of his green skin. Minx shrugged it off and got this cursed pixie unicorn her wine. He was used to people saying things like that, but he never got upset. And he just did his job. The unicorn was angry, upset about something. All she wanted to do was drink. Minx worried she was drinking way too much for her size. When Minx told her she was drinking too much, she said, when I want your opinion, I will pay you for it. Minx brought 2 more bottles as she requested, and he opened one. He knew she must have been having a bad day. The alehouse was getting filled, and Minx danced around and helped the customers. Tonight was busier than normal, but he enjoyed being busy and made the day go by faster, and it sure did. Towards the end of the night, Ringmaster Jinx of the Master de Plank's mystical creature Mangeray came into the alehouse. He took a seat at the corner away from everyone else that had came from the circus. Minx recognized him immediately. His picture was on all the banners of the circus. He danced his way to him and asked him, how can I help you? Ringmaster Jinx said, I need a stein of beer. Right away. Minx danced away and brought him his stein. Ringmaster Jinx never took his eyes off of him. When Minx came back, he said, excuse me, old-timer. Do you like working here? It is okay, but it's not the most ideal place for me. He continued to tell Ringmaster Ginks his story about being an architect and his map drawing, how the economy fell, he lost everything and was stuck in Resnick. He told him how he was lucky that he knew Singing Jack, how he offered him a job to get back on his feet. It had been over 10 years since he had been trying to get out of this city. He also told him about his drinking and how much he missed his wife, Vixen. Ringmaster Jinx listened to his every word and said, "Well, I may be able to help. I am not sure if you know I am the ringmaster of the traveling circus. I could use a dancing usher. I am also intrigued by your map making. We go to different cities and towns. I can contract you to draw me a map or two of each town we go to. You working for the circus as a dancing usher will give you some money. You will not have to worry about room and board. That will be covered by the circus. And that will help us both. You will have a lot of free time to draw your maps. We can both make money because I will pay you for your maps, and then we can make copies of your maps and sell them in our gift shop." Minx was happy for the opportunity to work for Ringmaster Jinx and his traveling circus. He agreed to work for him and asked him, "When do I start, sir?" "The sooner the better." Mink thought about it for a second and said, "I will start the day after tomorrow. I will tell my boss that I quit tomorrow and when he comes to clean up." Ringmaster Jinx said, "Okay, I have an appointment with the lava-breathing golem. I need to chase some dragon eggs tomorrow afternoon. Why don't you come up with me? By the way, I heard that you guys sell some dragon eggs delicacies." Minx agreed to go with him. He talked him out of the dragon eggs by telling him about the lava-breathing golem. He told him how nervous he was for Slinging Jacks, telling him about the dragon eggs food he sells. He knew that after meeting the golem, he would not be happy. If Genie the golem found out what Slinging Jacks did in the basement. Excuse me. Ringmaster Jinx said, "On second thought, I would take the beer. If the golem found out, that can be a recipe for disaster." Mink said, "It would be better for both of us if I was to tell you..." Excuse me. "It would be better for both of us if I tell him what happens in the basement here." Jinx said, "If the golem found out on his own, he might destroy the whole city, including everyone in it. But if you told him, that might save both our lives." Before Minx knew it was closing time. Ringmaster Jinx said, "I will see you tomorrow, old timer." "Sir, my name is Minx. Since we are going to work together, I thought you should know my name." "Okay, Minx. I will see you tomorrow afternoon, and we'll go up to the mountain." Minx walked Jinx out and closed up the airhouse. He took a stein of beer to his room. The next morning. Minx woke up early. Minx woke up earlier than he has woken up since he has been working for Singing Jack's alehouse. Singing Jack walked into the alehouse at about 9 a.m. and Minx walked in as well. Singing Jack was amazed that he was up. Singing Jack said, "Hey, good morning, Minx. I'm surprised to see you up this early." Minx said, Minx said nothing, and his face told Singing Jack that he had something on his mind. Swinging Jack said, "Hey, you okay, Minx? I could tell that you are worried about something or have something to say. Come on, old chap. Whatever it is, you know you can talk to me about it." Minx said, "Well, Jax, there is something I need to talk to you about. I was not sure how you were going to take it. So the best thing for me to do is tell you what's on my mind." "Sounds serious. Like I said, you can tell me anything." "Well, it may be serious. It all depends on how you take it. Last night, I was offered a job to work at the circus. Ringmaster Jinx wants me to travel with him and start my map drawing business with the circus. They want me to fill a position in the circus as an usher as well." "Oh wow, I was not expecting this. But I should have. You know how you do not owe me anything. We have done great business together, and when you were in need, I'm glad I could help. I hope that when the circus comes back near here, you will come and visit. Thank you for your help. When I needed a friend the most, you were there, and I can never really repay you for your kindness and hospitality. The problem is, I will not be able to work tonight." "Oh, I figured that much. For the last 10 years I have been at home with my wife and kids, but it is now time to take care of my own business. I'm going to work during the day once I've hired someone else to work nights." Singing Jack, thank you so much for your understanding. "No problem at all. I knew this was not the place for you. Do me a favor in your travels, go visit your wife's grave and get the closure you need. You need to stop drinking the way you have. You have been spiraling out of control. This new job opportunity will help me with my drinking. I will be too busy drawing maps of different towns and cities. I will work at the circus at night, most likely so I can travel. Well, you know where to reach me if you need me. Slinging Jack, make sure you do me a favor and be careful with what you are doing in the basement. I met the golem that takes care of the dragons. I'm worried about what will happen to you if he finds out what you do down there." "Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I do not eat the eggs, so I am hopeful if the furious golem comes down here, I'll be saved because I do not partake in the eggs." Minx hugged Slinging Jack and thanked him again. He went upstairs to pack the little things he had left. The afternoon came by in a flash. Minx took his bags and left Slinging Jack's alehouse. He walked over the half block to the circus. He asked someone that was standing outside the circus for Ringmaster Jinx. He told him where he could be found, and Minx walked over to his quarters. When he arrived at a huge trailer, Ringmaster Jinx said, "Welcome, Minx. Let me show you to your quarters." He told him that his quarters had a desk where he could draw his maps. When they arrived, the 10th door had his name on it. When they went in, Mink's jaw dropped. This was nothing like the cot in the rooms. There was nothing like the cot in the room's corner he had in Swinging Jack. From the looks of the tent on the outside, it did not look like much, but looks were deceiving. Ringmaster Jinx said, "I hope this will be suitable for you." "Yes, sir. It is way bigger than the room I had across the street." "Great. Put your stuff down and meet me in the front where you came in. We need to meet with 2 more people before we go to the Dragon's Lair. Are you okay with telling Genie what you know of the air house? I have no choice. The golem needs to know what people in the city are doing with the eggs he trades. Give me a few minutes, I will be right out. A few minutes later, Minx made his way to the front of the circus and met up with Ringmaster Jinx, Minx, and the other 2 people started the journey up the mountain. They made it up the mountain, and Genie and the lava-breathing golem was waiting for them. He asked, "Are you here for a visit or to trade?" Ringmaster Jinx nervously said, "We are here to trade. I made an appointment with you 2 nights ago." "Ah, yes, I remember. You are from the circus, correct?" "Yes, sir, I am. Follow me, let me show you around." They did as Genie said, but he kept looking at Minx like he could read his mind. Minx was nervous about telling him what was going on in the basement of Singing Jack's ale house. Genie showed them to where the dragons and the eggs were. He said, "Guys, it is hot in here. Take a look around, but touch nothing. I need a word with Minx if you guys do not mind." Jinx said, "We'll be right here when you are done." Minx walked with this giant of a golem to the Overwatch. He said, "Minx, your mind is troubled. I felt it from the moment you came in. What's going on, my friend? Is there something you need to tell me?" Minx said, "Well, I did want to speak to you about something in particular. My mind is troubled because I am not sure how you're going to take it." Genie said, "Well, the best thing you can do is release whatever is burdening you and tell me." "Well, I wanted to let you know that I used to work at the air house in the city. I have worked there for years. Since I came here exploring and met you and saw what you do here, I thought you should know that they sell dragon eggs delicacies at a premium. The owner of Singing Jack's has eaten none of these eggs, but he sold them. I have tried to shy people away from eating these dragon egg delicacies. Since I met you and know what you are doing, I thought you should know what some people are doing when they trade with you. I have seen many people come from the mountain to the air house and trade or sell them." Genie said, "Tell me, Minx, do you know if any of your friends have eaten these eggs?" "No, sir, not that I know of." "I do not smell it on them. I want you and your friends to know that I will bring justice down on anyone that has eaten these delicacies you speak of. I will spare your life and the life of your friends, and I can tell that your heart is pure, and so are your friends." Minx said, "Genie, I thank you for sparing our lives, but can I ask for one more thing?" "Name it." "I know you will bring justice for your dragons. There are people in the air house that have not eaten these dragon eggs. If you can spare them, I will be most appreciative." Genie said, "I will destroy anyone who has eaten my dragon eggs. As much as I would like to promise that no harm will come to them, I will give them a chance to get out of the air house. It will be up to them if they take it." "I understand, and thank you." They walked back in the room, and Genie said, "I am sorry, gentlemen. I will have to reschedule this meeting. I have urgent business to take care of in town. If I were you, I would stay away from the air house. Ginny showed them out, and Ringmaster Jinx said, as they got back in the vehicle, "Minx, what happened?" He knew I had something to tell him, and I told him exactly what was going on in the house. Should I be worried? We are all safe, but we should get as far away from the house as possible. I believe he is going to destroy it. I have heard that he has never gone into the city, so I believe you. I also want to thank you for saving my life. I owe you my life, Minx. Whatever you need, whenever you need it, you will have it. Mink said, Ringmaster Jinx, there's only one thing I will request. Name it and it's yours. I want your friendship, which means a lot. And I will travel with you and draw maps to make money for the circus. But I'd rather not be a dancing usher. Ringmaster Jinx said, how about we make a new role for you? Your drawings could help us more than you think. How about we put you in charge of marketing, which includes all signage, maps, and anything that needs to be drawn. You will also have a team to help you. Now that I can do. Mink shook the ringmaster's hand, and their partnership began. Genie and the dragons come down the mountain. Minx and Ringmaster Jinx heads down the mountain. They traveled across the other side of the city to a hillside area where they can see the city. Far enough not to get hurt if Ginny destroyed the whole town. Scan down, please. Okay. Within minutes, Ginny and his eldest dragons came to the city. Ginny's footsteps could be heard for miles. When the fire-breathing golem arrived in town, he went to Slinging Jack's alehouse. He ripped the roof off it like a child would rip a gingerbread house. He looked in and said, I am here for anyone that has eaten my dragon eggs. I will give you seconds before I destroy this place and everyone in it. He stepped away and seemed like he was sniffing around. He grabbed a few people and crushed them in his heavy hands. By this time, everyone in the alehouse had made it out. Ginny went back and kicked out the first floor, crumbling the building. He kicked the broken pieces, exposing the basement. He now saw exactly what Minx was telling him. Lava came out of his mouth, flooding the basement. Anyone left was in this lava pool. Excuse me, I can't speak today. Ginny kept sniffing to see if anyone ate, to smell if anyone ate the dragon eggs. They were thrown into the lava pool. So, let me rephrase that. Genie kept sniffing around. He picked up people and threw them into the lava pool. The golem threw people into the lava pool like a father throws his kids into the swimming pool, with ease. The sight that Minx and Ringmaster Jinx has was incredible. They saw everything. When anyone who ate dragon eggs was destroyed in the lava pool, Genie and his dragons made... So, I'm going to repeat that. When anyone who ate the dragon eggs was destroyed in the lava pool, after all the destruction was done, Genie and his dragons made the hike back up the mountain. His lasting words were, Do not eat my dragon eggs. Once the coast was clear, Ringmaster Jinx said, Minx, you saved my life, and I will forever be indebted to you. Last night, I did ask you for some dragon eggs to eat, and you talked me out of it. Mink said, if you told me a month ago that I, of all people, a grieving drunk like me, would be a hero, I would not have believed you. I am happy that you heard and didn't partake in those eggs. Many people don't, and now they are dead in that lava pool. So, that is the end of my story. I left it there. It was Sam said between 2,500 and 5,000 words. I went a little bit over. I went 5,006 words. So the only thing I ask you is to please remember that I've never shared any of my stories. This is my first. So I do want constructive criticism. Let me know what I could have done better, if anything, which I know a lot, but you know, let me know what you thought of the story. And yeah, so the whole premise of my story was that he was a grieving drunk that ends up saving the Ringmaster and got into a better situation than where he started from. And now he's in partnership with the with Ringmaster Jinx, and you know, I can continue it and make a full story out of it. I probably will not, but what I will do is I'm gonna put this on my blog. So if anybody actually wants to read it, I probably have to edit it a little bit better because as you saw, I kind of had to stop a little bit and kind of fix it on the go. But the promise I made to Sam was that I was gonna do the live with her and I was gonna write the story and read it. So I believe I accomplished what I promised. And without making this video too much longer, I need to thank writer Sam Wicker, Mama Maggie, and Mr. Vlandus. They have been my the people I go to. We've been in email communication, and Mama Maggie and Sam particularly have been giving me ideas on what I should do, how I should take my story. They have been a great sounding board for me, and I appreciate them so much. More above all, I appreciate Sam because Sam knows that I've never shared my story, and that was the point with this character randomizer live stream and story. And I've learned so much about how to build a character. I hope I did it justice, and thank you all so much for bearing with me and hearing my story, and hope you liked it. So as always, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can be notified when when I go live and all my videos come up. I do have an idea for another video, and it actually came from Running with Ben, I think his name is. I'm probably saying that wrong, but he did a video on his town. I forget the name of it, but I will put in the description box below. I'll put Sam's video, Mr. Vlandus' video, Mama Maggie's video, the playlist, and the live we did. I would also put that video I'm talking to you about, that Running with Ben, I think his name is, did about his town, and I'm probably gonna tag myself in that as well. So thank you all so much for listening to my story, and I hope you liked it. And let me know what you thought about it. Any constructive criticism I would love to have. So thank you so much. Stay safe. I love you, writing family. God bless and stay safe. Bye bye now.